Hey, I'm Steven from Rugged Routes, and today I'm going to show you guys the map I recently released for the Arizona Peace Trail. Many people over the last few years have been asking for maps for popular places like Parker, Quartzsite, Lake Havasu is a really big one. I hear about Havasu all the time. Well, luckily, the Arizona Peace Trail goes through all of those places and more, doing about an 800-mile loop with a bunch of shortcuts that cut across into some very remote areas of Arizona. So let's jump into it. I'll show you guys exactly what this covers. Right now I'm zoomed in on an area just south of the center of Lake Havasu, and I'm going to zoom out really far just so you guys can get an idea of what we are working with. So as you can see here, there's a orange outline of sorts, and basically that is everywhere that there's satellite imagery coverage on this map. I included as much satellite imagery at the maximum resolution possible that will fit on a 32 gig SD card, making the Arizona Peace Trail the primary focus of that area. So basically you have coverage for all of the Arizona Peace Trail, and then I added as much area as I possibly could until the SD card is just filled up. Speaking of SD cards, it is on a 32 gig card. So any of the HDS1, HDS2, which those are all button units, and there's Gen 2 Touch, Gen 3, HDS Carbon, HDS Live, and now HDS Pro are all compatible with this map. On HDS1, you will need to put a firmware update on your unit if it's not already updated to the latest one, the 4.0 version, which by this point, most of you guys that are running those old units have already had. But I just say it just to double check. Also on the Elite series, we are talking about the Elite TI, the TI2, as well as the Elite FS7s. So with that out of the way, we'll dig into this a little bit more. So as you can see, we've got that coverage area there, good chunk of western Arizona. Now when you first put the map in, a lot of these units will default to having the photo overlay set to off. You will need to set that to full in order for the imagery to show up, and I'll show you why. As we zoom back in with that set to off, you'll see the streets and you'll see the Arizona Peace Trail highlighted in green, kind of meandering through town there, but there's no imagery until you set that to full. Then it all loads. So it's that simple. It's not hard. It's just one extra little step. On most of the modern units, as well as long as you're up to date on your software updates, on some of the more recent generations of units, I'm on an Elite FS7 right now, that setting stays pretty consistent. So once you set it, you shouldn't have to mess with it too much. All right, now just going into a couple quick details on this map. It is highlighted in green as far as the main loop, but as we get north of Havasu here, you'll see that there is going to be an offshoot. And here's one example right here, and there's plenty of these as you go through the loop. These are little offshoots that go into different parts of Arizona and just kind of tee into different areas. They're kind of all over the place. But one point that I wanted to make here is when you zoom in on these, you will get this ID that coincides with the official Arizona Peace Trail documentation. So all of these notes and the official documentation here is exactly what Arizona Peace Trail publishes, regardless if it's one of these offshoots or if it's on this main green loop, which is the main outer loop of Arizona Peace Trail proper. Now, a couple last notes before I let you guys go. I'm going to try to keep this video as short as possible. Usually when I do high resolution maps like this, it's of a very specific area with an official boundary, which is not the case here. I used the Arizona Peace Trail as a guide and buffered that out as much as I can, which kind of goes against the way I like to do things. I like to keep things a little bit more organized as far as using existing official boundaries that come from the BLM or come from the Forest Service. And when I do that, I usually comb through that area in its entirety, marking points of interest, taking pictures of things, and just adding in those extra little nuggets of information. Unfortunately, due to my proximity to Arizona and my ability to get out there and take the time to do that for the entire trail, would have been a massive effort, which is something I had my eyes on that goal for quite some time. But in talking to a lot of my customers, they weren't seeing a lot of value in that going that extra mile. So instead of putting off this map further to do something that a lot of people weren't seeing value in, I went ahead and just released it as is. The imagery sharp, the trail is there, and it has coverage for a lot of the really popular areas that people have been asking for a long time. So I hope you guys find this map valuable. There is a link to pick this up at ruggedroutes.com right below this video, and there'll also be a link overlay on this video as well. So definitely pick this up. I'll get it out to you. And as we get into the 2024/25 riding season, the weather's starting to cool down. I hope we're going to have a lot of fun out there. Stay safe. And my next map is going to be California City. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting on that one for a long time, but the time has come. The KRX 1000 is ready to go. I'm going to be doing those videos I've been talking about for a really long time. So, yeah, make sure you're subscribed, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks.